Peace, family. Another powerful video. This one is going to be about the narrative of the black man. But before I begin, I want to give honors to all of you watching. And most of all, I want to give honors to my mother. Happy birthday, Mom. It's her birthday today. October 14th is my mother's birthday. She may see this, she may not. But my mom raised me. I honor my mother. Honor my father also, but today is her birthday. So I'm going to honor her. I'm going to do this video in her honor. I could talk to my mom about anything. I could call her right now and talk to my mom about anything. Anything. Even this stuff. Anything. So she will approve of what I'm saying. So peace to my mom. I love you. Alright, and I give honors, again, honors to all of you watching. Honors to all the mothers across the world, of every nation. The mothers, especially the mothers of civilization. I give praise to the Allah, Almighty Creator. So, today is October 14th, Friday. So I give honors and a happy holy day to Muslims all over the world, because Friday is the holy day for Muslims all over the world. Friday is also the sixth day spoke about in the Bible when man was formed and man was made in the image and the likeness of God. So Friday is also the sixth day. Friday is also governed by the planet Venus, according to ancient mythology and ancient philosophy. Friday is the day of Venus, right? And Venus is the planet of love and peace. October also, Libra. My mom's a Libra. October. So we're in the time of the Libra, which is also governed by Venus. And Libra has the balance scales, represents balance, which represents Ma'at. So I give honors to today, and I give honors to today's lessons. I give honors to all the Moors. I give honors to the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam. So let's get right into it. The narrative of the black man. I know it's a touchy subject, and we're going to get right through it. I have my notes, and we're going to get right through it. So here we go. The narrative of the black man starts with him being forced to serve someone else. The various names such as Negro, black, and colored given to the 40 million people with all colors of every race of the globe in America was and is an act of European psychology. They gave him a name, then defined it as something inferior to theirs. White, they defined as a color of purity. Black, they say, represents everything of evil. The black man was cut off from the illustrious history of his forefathers, who were the founders of the first civilization of the old world. For this reason, he is labeled black man. Some may relate him being called black man in reference to his skin color or skin tone, but he was named black by his slaveholders for the purpose of mental slavery, which makes him a better subject for physical bondage. Right? Let's move on. The word Negro, which also means black, deludes to the word nigger. One of the definitions of black is reflecting or transmitting little or no light. So they try to say the black man has no intellectual light, which is false. Before the black man was made black by slaveholders, he was the light of the world. In Africa, this man built kingdoms and was the master of the arts of civilization, in which he spread his greatness to the European continent when they were sunk in the dark ages. They were the black men at the time because they were sunk in the dark ages. And we were the light of the world who brought light to their darkness and enlightened them. He brought his marvelous light to those who had no light. The credit of Western civilization during the European Renaissance isn't given to the black man, but it is given to his African forefathers and mothers called Moors. Branding the black man black, slaveholders disconnected the black man from the great history of his African parents. Marcus Garvey stated that a people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. The black man isn't black because of his skin color. He is black because he was cut off from his African roots and his Moorish heritage. Okay? When the African was brought to America, he was not black. He was enlightened with knowledge of his history, his origin, and culture. He was mixed in with the people. He was mixed in with people that were black because they had no knowledge of self. The African would often enlighten the black people about their African history or African culture. To the detriment of the black man, laws were created to prevent slave traders from importing captured Africans to America. Thus, the black man could not rely on his African brethren to show him African culture. Thank Allah that some black people preserve the limited knowledge they had of their African roots. Let's move on. See, because they had slaves, they had our people enslaved in America already, and then they were still bringing over Africans. This is actually depicted in the movie Roots, or the series Roots, where they will bring, check this time, where they will bring Africans over as slaves, and there was slaves already was here that never knew Africa because they were born in America in slavery. So these Africans will come over and they will basically still have their culture, language. A lot of them was Muslim. A lot of them spoke Arabic, and a lot of them had, even though they spoke Arabic and was Muslim, they still preserved and had traditional culture along with that. It was all together. They had that too. And they would shine this light that they had about their culture in front of these black slaves that were already enslaved in America. Thus, these black slaves will have this knowledge, and they will pass it and pass it and pass it. So that's a whole nother story, but it's part of the history. So us being labeled by the slaveholder was an act of European psychological warfare for the purpose of mental and physical slavery. Right? In order for slaveholders to create a black man, they had to disconnect him from his roots. They would take a baby born in slavery and indoctrinate this baby with a false image of himself. They taught this baby only slave history and introduced him to a god who looked like his slave owners. Slaveholders would completely cut the baby off from his African history and culture and replace it with a false culture created to enslave the baby's mind. This is the creation of the black man. So it was psychological warfare. So they labeled us black. The labeling of our people black, nigger, and colored was an act of European psychology. Some might call sorcery. Right, sorcery, some people might call it, which is related to psychology. I used to be a black man until I was enlightened about my African roots and Moorish heritage. Once you are truly reconnected with your true history and origin, you are only black by choice. So, this black, the world might see me as and relate me to black man because of my skin color and due to social engineering and connotative language, the language that we speak in this modern day. So we relate black to a dark-skinned people or the descendants of Africans. We call them black. So I might appear to be black to some people who subscribe to calling black African descent people black, but on the inside, I am no black man. I am enlightened. So I said, these are my notes, by the way. So I said, Once you become enlightened of your African history, you only are black by choice, meaning you choose to subscribe and call yourself black. You choose to redefine the term black, which is okay if you prefer that. Me, I prefer not to redefine black as being applied to my identity. I prefer to be called what my forefathers called themselves, right? So let's move on. Before the transatlantic slave trade, the Negro, black, or colored race never existed. It didn't exist before the transatlantic slave trade, before slavery. Noble Drew Ali stated, "There is no one who is able to change man from the descent nature of his forefathers unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah." So no slaveholder could ever change the descent nature of us and change who we are. They might define us as, classify us as black, and try to redefine who we are, but they can't do it because their power didn't extend beyond God Allah. In psychology, the success of people depends on their self-image. Generally, the black man puts not all black men. That's why I said generally, as a whole, because it is a lot. You can't deny that. I'm from the street, so you can't deny that. Right? So generally, the black man puts little value on his life because of the way he viewed himself. Like his forefathers, the black man was made in the image of God Allah. Facts. To the black man's detriment, his contributions to world history has been minimized in America and credit given to other people other than him. The black man today is only black by choice, being that he was made in the image of God. The value of his life is just as high as all of God's other creations. The black man is not black because he is the light of the world. He is the child of parents who were masters of civilization. They were skilled in science, commerce, and trade. They were the creators of kingdoms and religious creeds. The black man must awaken from his psychological grave or psychological death. His black death, because he needs to be enlightened with the light of Allah. So he needs to awaken from his psychological grave and bathe in the light of knowledge of his true self. So that's going to conclude our video. I want to say peace. I want to say subscribe. Shout out to all the people who have subscribed. I've been making these videos for about a month. So, you know, it's moving along. I give honors to everybody that support me, all the love that's shown to me, everybody that can see my sincerity and know I'm sincere and serious about this. You know, I give honors to, and I shout out to everybody who share my videos. I see it and I see you, and I appreciate you. So I appreciate all the people that watch my videos. I appreciate all of you, and I love all of you. So that's going to conclude this video. And with that, I say peace and Islam. Enjoy your day. Take care.